All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rickcast. I am the aforementioned Rick. Hey, I'm so glad anybody else, you guys stuck with me. The one person that's still here. Thank you. Yeah, I really want to use Rumble, as you can tell, but Rumble is just not there, and it's really disappointing that they aren't, because there are such opportunities on Rumble. There are live ad reads I can do. I can actually start making money if I figure out how to use Rumble. But I'm going to have to spend a day just literally cranking this thing out and doing a test live stream. We're not on Twitter today or X today because X doesn't work, and it hasn't worked for anybody. So there's that. And it's Monday. So we have all kinds of things. So we're going to kind of cut the fat. We usually have openings, and we have hot takes, and we have other things that we usually talk about. We're not going to talk about any of those. We're going to go straight to our first story today because we got time to make up, and we are going to make up said time. I promise you all that. The music was the same. My social media manager told me that you guys actually liked the chair more than you liked the sunset. So Magdalene was like, hey, stop using the sunset and use the chair for the opening music. And I just do what she says. That's really it. Yeah, Elon's ex has been under attack all day. It's actually our first story. And I couldn't get it on Rumble, and I can't get it on StreamYard. So obviously they're having trouble connecting, or I'm having trouble connecting, whatever the case may be. So let's get to our first story of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, the music is pimpalicious, isn't it? It is just so. That's what I live to do. So let's see here. Let's get to our first stories of the day. We're going to talk about Elon's ex going down, which is very prudent and very important to us. Michelle Obama, I think she's running. I think she's running, guys. I've been very much saying that Michelle Obama is not going to run for the presidency, but she's launching a podcast too. I think that's the way that Democrats show that they're running for office, is that they announce a podcast. They start getting on a podcast because it gives them a digital, I'm sorry if I'm hitting the mic, it gives them a digital footprint to go on. And so it gives them a space to talk about the current issues and all these other things, but whatever. There's a bizarre track attack that took place. No, like on a track, like running the 400-meter yards. This girl just like straight up smokes another girl. Maybe she's getting divorced, and that will be her launching pad as a single woman. She'll be the first single woman ever to be president. Sorry, if she runs, Big Mike's gonna get Big Mike. But yes, and then finally, Love is Blind's Bridezilla is there. But before I get into it, if anybody is just saying, why are you so intent on using Rumble? Rumble doesn't work. Rumble has offered me already live ad reads, meaning that, it's not a ton of money, but it's something that if I can get it on Rumble, and I can do their live ad reads on Rumble, I can actually start generating some income. And I'm not going to lie, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I enjoy hanging out with you guys. But obviously, on the second hand, I'd like to start getting paid for some of these kinds of things, because that's good. Charity is great. But eventually, I'd like to actually start making some money from some of this stuff. So that's why I'm so intent on trying to use Rumble. I believe in the platform. I believe in it's a free speech approach. I believe in all that. It's just that I need to take a day, probably on the weekend, and just do a stream and hammer all of this out so I can figure it out. So that way I'm not doing it with you guys in real time. I don't want to waste your time. Speaking of not wasting time, everybody's time was wasted today because X decided to just go out, just not work. Yep, it just didn't work. And that was not nice what you just did to me. That's the kind of day it is. Let's see. Nope, I just I X'd it out, so it's that kind of night, guys. Here we go. From Newsweek.com. Here we go. Newsweek.com. Give it to me. Elon Musk is pointing the finger at the Ukraine for cyber attack on X that has caused major outages today, including this very program. This wonderful program that all of you are just so desperate to be a part of and watch, and I thank you for. Yes, the Ukraine is insane and coming after Elon Musk. There's no way to make that rhyme. You can hear it from him if you'd like.
Cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced. Yes. It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
If you're a nerd or somewhat of a nerd like myself, or I'm just not a nerd, I'm just a guy, what we think it is a DDoS attack, right? A denial of service attack where they just overwhelm the system and it just shuts down. Now, apparently that's happening there. The internet's just being weird today because at my job, I work online remotely at another job. I couldn't get access to the service at that job either. So it's very interesting. And it's reflective of how much of a drug that X has become as far as people like me who try to generate content. X is a great machine to generate content because all you have to do is do a couple cursory searches. And it's like, oh, look, this thing's trending. That thing's trending. Here's a video clip. There's a video clip. Oh, yeah, it's so easy. It's actually a lot easier. So we're trying to figure it out in real time how to get around it. But Elon Musk has pointed the finger at the Ukraine for the major cyber attack on X that has caused most outages today. Tens of thousands of users reported at least 3 major outages of the website and the app. And right now it's still like that because we weren't able to connect on either Rumble or on StreamYard today. Pro-Palestinian hacker group Dark Storm Team claimed responsible for the DDoS attack on the platform, according to a public Telegram post. The group is known for primarily targeting countries and entities that support Israel's attack on Gaza following Hamas's surprise attack on October 7th, 2023. And my response every time everybody asks me about whether Israel or Hamas, I just say Rome, Kingdom of Jerusalem. So yeah, you have to get to a certain amount. You have to get like 500 followers or 1,000 followers, and you got to get 5 million impressions. If you pay, you got to be, first of all, you got to be a verified Twitter user or X user. And then you have to get so many impressions per month, and then you get paid. So for the rich, the content rich, like your Tim Pools and your Jason Whitlocks and anybody in Hassan Piker, if you're a known entity or Steven Crowder and you get impressions on your tweets, you get paid. People like me who get like thousands, 12,000, 13,000 impressions on a tweet, I got a long way to go before I actually start getting paid on the X platform. Is it a possibility that could happen? Absolutely. But it's going to be a lot more work for somebody like me who is an unknown versus a known quantity. And that's just how it goes. Of course, that's another reason why you have so much garbage on the on X platform. They have a lot of garbage accounts. It's like, do you like this dog? Yes or no? They don't care if you like the dog. They just want you to look at the tweet, give the impression, and repost it so they can get more views. That's all it's about. They call it engagement farming. Back into this story about X, though. However, Musk suggested that a large coordinated group and or country is involved, the Ukraine, in the massive hack in a series of posts on X will get attacked every day, but this was done with a lot of resources. Musk later told Larry Kudlow during this interview that the hackers had an IP address originally in the Ukraine area. And so this seems like it is part of a coordinated attempt to go after Musk. Not only has X been attacked, but Teslas across the country. Tesla was the darling of the left because it was electronic vehicles and we were saving the planet. And look how great I am. Look how environmentally conscious I am because I'm just so cool in my Tesla. Yay! Except the fact that, everybody was like, you're a loser in your Tesla because you're annoying. Not the case anymore, guys. Not the case. People are violently going after people in Teslas. And it's not just Cybertrucks. And then you guys, well, the Cybertruck's ugly. I get it. But it's not just the Cybertrucks people are going after now. People are actively going after people in cars. This happened, I believe, in New York. This happened in a major city. It may have been in New York, but I do not know that for a fact. But this happened this weekend. So this guy just ran up to this one person's car and like smacked the side of it and was flipping it off. No, it was in New York. And the idea is, what is this guy doing? What is this guy going to attempt to accomplish by flipping off a guy with his family in the car and hitting the side of it? First of all, that only happens in New York, because if you come after me, if I'm in a Tesla and you're doing this in Texas, that's grounds for assault. Now, am I going to do anything to push back? I will not say, because I don't want to be on video. But in the state of Texas, your car is considered part of your castle. Maybe Michael, look what I can do. But there's that. And then you also have this happened over the weekend as well. There's a couple of other violent attacks that took place. 44 cars, 44 wheels stolen from Teslas in League City. League City is actually the place where they develop the Teslas. Where they like quality control them. What do I mean is that near Austin, they have the Gigafactory. They have this ugly giant glass building. And that's where they make the Cybertrucks and the Model Ys and everything. And then they ship them out. So if you're driving down 35 or the toll road 180, which goes around, you'll see, trucks driving with Teslas and Cybertrucks and all these other things from the Gigafactory near the Austin International Airport. So whenever my wife and I leave out of Austin International, we got to drive by the ugly Gigafactory. I call it the SS Concrete because it's just a big concrete and glass building. It is literally the ugliest thing you could imagine. It is a monument to minimalism, and I just hate it. Ugh, it's gross. Anyway, so this League City, they build these out in Austin, then you drive them all over the place. League City, if my Texans are correct, that's near Houston. And then Houston, they stage them there and they ship them out on boats all over the place. So this place in League City where they took all of these wheels from these Teslas is part of the staging area, part of the place where they keep them. And so these things are increasing. Oh, I was right. Nice. I mean, my man G Money's telling me I'm good, so we're good there. So we're seeing this guy, like they couldn't afford to give him 2 blocks. That's ridiculous. But they're just stealing the wheels from these cars. And over the weekend, it just seems like there is more and more vandalism. And think whatever you want about Elon Musk. He's not my favorite guy. He's not my favorite guy in the world. But the fact of the matter is, the guy shouldn't be attacked for expressing political opinions. So vandalism and attacks on Tesla accelerate as Musk says Act Blue Soros to blame. Attacks on Tesla dealerships as protests against Elon Musk's recent forte into politics looks to accelerate. Over the last few weeks, there have been countless reports of protests at Tesla showrooms and vandalism at Tesla vehicles and superchargers. Yeah, there's videos of superchargers going up in flames. And so people are just randomly attacking these Tesla dealerships. Like this some guy's a random car in downtown Seattle, and some guy just runs up and starts smashing. You can think Teslas are the ugliest vehicles on the planet, and I do. And I think electric vehicles are kind of stupid outside of a city, stuff. But, get out of here. But that's somebody else's property. That's somebody else's property, and they shouldn't have to suffer for it. Like the person that bought this Tesla, they might not agree with Elon Musk, yet why does their stuff have to get attacked? Oh, you bought a car from Elon. Shut up, you moron. Whatever, dude. A Tesla store was shot up in Oregon, of course, land of the tolerant left. Of course, Oregon is a gun-free zone, by the way. The entire state has no guns. But there you go. You have this dealership. Let me see. being shot up. Let's go from the beginning. You guys can listen to it.
Police tape bullet holes and shattered glass. Crews spent the day cleaning up the Tesla dealership after investigators say someone shot it up overnight Thursday, causing tens of thousands of dollars in damage.
When employees showed up to work this morning, that's when they discovered the damage.
Tigard police say someone fired at least 7 shots, damaging 3 cars and shattering windows. Fortunately, it happened overnight when employees were gone.
I think the concerning thing for the employees is that it happened at all, and that one of those shots went into an office and into a computer monitor. Ultimately, we're just thankful that nobody was hurt.
The latest vandalism comes just one day after federal investigators say they arrested a man in Salem for similar crimes. He's accused of throwing Molotov cocktails and shooting at the Tesla dealership there. Like in that case, Tigard police are now working with the FBI and ATF to determine if the latest vandalism is politically motivated. Tesla stores nationwide.
See, that's they didn't even slap it. That's the superchargers. They're just lighting superchargers up on fire too. Let's see if we can find that real quick. Where's my one? Yeah. Tesla superchargers. You know, these things are being set up on fire as well, and it's crazy that this is actually taking place. You have this stuff like, ooh, he's so trendy. He wrote Nazi on a supercharger. Wow, look at that. It's totally resisting, homie. Let's see. Yeah, that one. There was one where there was a bunch of them on fire. Let's see here. Test the supercharger fire. I can't believe I have to get that specific. But that it? Let's see. Nope, that's just a gas station. Never mind. But yeah, there was one where there was a bunch of Tesla superchargers on fire. There it is. There it is. And that is not cheap, folks. That is not cheap at all. There's the copper, there's the electricity. The amount of money that's needed to actually get those things up and operational is ridiculous. And all because Elon Musk decided to have a different political opinion than the leftists that he, I guess, was courting, right? In the beginning, he was courting these people as electric vehicle owners because that used to be the main market. Now it's whoever, you know, can afford it, I guess. But you have all these things. So on X, Musk said Saturday morning that an investigation has been linked to Act Blue funded groups to Tesla protests, with Act Blue backed by major donors like George Soros and Red Hoffman, now under scrutiny for allegedly illegal foreign donations, pumping the resignation of several senior officials, including the Associate General Counsel. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that like middle fingers? I don't know. Recall last week, Zero Hedge pointed out that vehicle owners are being forced to alter appearance of their cars. Yeah, there's people that are actually out there and they're taking the Tesla symbol off their car and they're putting like Toyota symbols on there or Audi symbols on there. So people don't realize it's a Tesla at first. So that way they don't get their car broken into. Let's see if they actually have this. Where now there's a bunch of pictures where they actually showed. But the Daily News wrote that some owners are using stickers from logos from other brands or displaying messages like anti-Elon Tesla Club to distance themselves from Elon Musk. Like, yeah, this used no money to Elon, which, you know, you shouldn't have to do. But this is the stuff. So Elon is under attack on two fronts, whether it is, you know, the Tesla superchargers or the Tesla factories, or the Tesla dealerships, which, by the way, who are you really hurting when you attack a Tesla dealership? Are you hurting billionaire Elon Musk when you do that? No, you're not hurting Elon Musk. You're hurting the guy that makes $40,000 a year selling Teslas. You're messing with the janitors. You're messing with the run of the mill, the salt of the earth people that are trying to just do their job and make their way. No, but you got to be super resistance guy, and you're trying to show off to people that you're what? That you're with it. I'm with it. I'm cool. Ducka, 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 ducka. Like, no, you're not cool by messing up a person's livelihood who's trying to make their way. And it's going to get worse the longer Elon is associated with Trump and the more cuts and things. I mean, Elon's brand has been destroyed forever. Now, I'm not trying to throw a pity party for the guy because he's going to be fine. But still, these are the types of things that keep people from getting into politics, because the left caters in violence. That's what they do. And we're seeing that today on X, and we're seeing it, online and in the real world, that, he's on two fronts dealing with this stuff. And yeah, regardless of what you think of him, he shouldn't have to, and nobody should actually have to deal with it. All right, this is Rick Cast. I'm the aforementioned Rick, getting through today's problems, and we are here. And you know what? I'm just blown away by the fact that anybody is still watching right now. So I thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's really the show's ever going to succeed is going to be because of you. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, do all the fun things to help the show continue to grow. And let's get to our next story. Oh boy. I have been telling people for a while that Big Mike is not running. In case you don't know who Big Mike is Michelle Obama. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, from Axios, Axios.com. Michelle Obama announces a video podcast. So last week we talked about Gavin Newsom. He's announcing his podcast to moderate his position so he can create the digital trail. So when he runs in 2028 and people accuse him of being an extremist, he can point to his podcast and say, when I talked to Charlie Kirk, I said this. And when I talked to XYZ, I did. When I talked to Dave Rubin, I did that. And now I don't think Michelle has the same idea. I don't think she has the same idea here as far as trying to moderate her position. But this is a very easy way to keep yourself in the political spotlight. And also, this is an absolute 100% Michelle move. This is low for her, low effort. All she has to do is show up and talk, and the media will pronounce her as the next best thing. They will, shout her. Michael, from here on out, whenever we talk about Michelle, she, her, we're automatically just air quotes for every time she, her are put into place. Her podcast from the rooftops, how amazing is she, all these other kinds of things and so forth. Now, Crotchety, she's not hurting for books because she does speaking fees as well. She's got the Netflix deal. She's got the speaking fees. And even if her book flops, book companies will still give her money because she's a black woman, Democratic, she's the darling of those people. So they'll continue, how many books has Hillary Clinton wrote? How many books have people wrote that they don't even have out there? They're just, printed to print. And I'm sure she got a lot of money to do it. And I'm sure she'll, it'll do well enough for her to get the originals. I mean, it is a good point. If it was anybody else, Crotchety, I would agree with you. Like, they're trying to make up money from a blown book, but she's one of those few that is insulated from that. Her husband, quote unquote, he makes money from their speaking fees and their deals and all these other kinds of things. How much money did they make from that? Let's see. Obama Netflix deal. Let's see. What's the Obama Netflix deal worth? This was back in 2019. Come on, tell me how much it is. Oh my gosh, they're burying the lead on this. Ay. What a ridiculous worth. See, they're hiding it too. Because just for Obama's net worth in 2024, he's worth 70 million. So you got to think she's like worth 50 or maybe even more. He's worth 70 million. Presidential salary, pension. He gets a pension too, Obama. So great for him. Book, podcast, and actually let's do Michelle since we're here. Michelle Obama worth. Let's see that. See if it gives us that too. So this thing, celebrity net worth? Celebrity net worth has her at 70 million. Her net worth is 70 million. That's probably with the podcast deal and all these other kinds of things. And so All right. Lawyer Club India says she's worth 160 million net worth. So she's never going to be hurting for money. So the only reason she should be doing something like this is to keep her political profile up there and to keep her name in the press. It's really about keeping yourself relevant. And I know you're saying, well, she's Michelle Obama. She can just step back in. There's going to be a lot of people, and she's going to have to convince the Democratic Party now. And I know this is going to sound weird, but just go with me on this. She's going to have to convince the Democratic Party that, they should take a flyer on her. What do I mean? Hillary Clinton lost. She was supposed to be the first woman president. She lost. Kamala Harris, she was supposed to win because she was the first female person of color. She lost, and she got the brakes beaten off of her. So right now, the donors, what do they want? They want to win again, which is why Gavin Newsom, the guy who's conventionally handsome with a slick smile, is being propped up again. Like, hey, Gavin, why don't you give it a try? Why don't you try it? Why don't we get you out there? It's going to be very hard for there's going to be the rabid class of people that think she should run. And then there's going to be a lot of people like, hey, we've run women 2 out of the 3 last cycles, and we've lost both times. The only time we won the presidency back, was when we had Joe Biden do it. So it is what it is in that regard. So I think it's more of an idea of helping her stay relevant. Maybe also, go with me on this. I'm going in real time here on Rickcast. This is an attempt to soften the edges on Michelle. What's one thing? Michelle is, Barack was likable. Michelle was there. Barack was like, hey, everybody, I'm here. I'll play basketball. I know that's George Bush. I get it. I like basketball. I'm black. I'm a guy. Yeah. And, slick smile, very charismatic. Michelle is not. Michelle has a Hillary Clinton problem. Right? She is not as well liked. She has a brain. You're right, Lou. She has a brain. She has all these other things. But to the general public, she's unlikable. She's very standoffish. She does not have the polish that Barack had, much like Hillary Clinton does not have the polish that Bill had. Now, I'm not saying female politicians don't have it, right? I think a Tulsi Gabbard or, actually, no, I can't stand any of them. Never mind. I can't stand it. I take that back. Female politicians have it tougher than male politicians because they have to try and be both exude power, quote unquote, but yet half the population wants that. But the other half of the population does not want to. They want a woman to also represent femininity. So they have to walk this fine line. And the candidate that can do that will win. The first female candidate that can do that will win. And so I think this podcast is a way for her to soften her edges. And you can see it with the announcement of this podcast, right? She put this out today. My brother, Craig Robinson, who I think he's a comedian or whatever, and I are launching a podcast, in my opinion, IMO, with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson, along with experts and special guests. We'll be discussing some of your questions, and we hope you'll check it out whenever you get a chance. Oh, there's an actual video. Ha ha! Let's take a look, suckers. I gotta watch it. So do you. Oh, there isn't like a video? Premieres in 12 hours. We're gonna watch that tomorrow. I'm gonna subject all y'all to that tomorrow. But this is it. See how she's smiling and she's not trying to be masculine, for lack of a better term. She's leaning in. She's letting the man stand up straight. I know you think of being a misogynist when I say these things, but how people perceive things is half the battle, which is why it's always tougher for a female politician to go toe-to-toe with a male politician, because a male politician, unless it's somebody like me, is usually going to be taller. So it is what it is. No. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, I've already given you my opinion on women in politics. I don't think they belong, but misogynist alert. I need to get an alert, like misogynist alert, but it is what it is. I have not yet seen one good female politician. Please don't tell me any female politician you'll tell me. Maybe Margaret Thatcher. Maybe. Outside of that, no. I haven't seen any good female politician. But the fact is, she's trying to soften her image. She is. And I think this podcast is a low effort way to do so. Oh, she's going to take questions. The comedian's going to set her up with the softball. Hey, Michelle, what do you think about this? And she's going to go, ha, 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 that's such a great question. I think we should do this. And in my opinion, it's going to be blah, blah, blah. Steph, we love you on this. We love you being our resident liberal. Are you out of your blanking mind? I do. I really appreciate you being here. You're joking though, right? Because that's the funniest thing I've ever heard you say. Gretchen, Wicked Witch of the West Whitmer, is probably the best example of why women should not be in politics. She is disgraceful and awful and a tyrant. And so no thanks. Sorry. That's a big fat no. But yes, this is why I think the podcast is happening. I believe it's an attempt to soften her up as she gets to 2028, because I guess she's running. I have been of the opinion that Michelle wants nothing to do with politics. I've been trying to say she doesn't want anything to do with politics, that she just wants to take the money, go hang out in Martha's Vineyard, and not be dealing with any of the world. When people say she's popular in Michigan, there was a time, Steph, when people went out and bought this thing called a pet rock, because that was popular. The Spice Girls were popular. Blue Man Group was popular. Popularity does not always equal a good thing. Well, it is strategically, I get it from the voting blog. It would be a wise play. But I don't know how well she would do if outside of Michigan, right? Tim Walz is apparently a very popular governor in Minnesota. Didn't really work out for him. He was a male politician. He is a male politician, not dead. And yet he absolutely he may, it's all about stumbling on the national stage, if you will. Yeah, Chia Pets. Chia Pets are popular right now. Timothy Chalamet is popular. Taco Bell is popular. Popularity is not usually indicator of something that is successful. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. My people on YouTube are letting me know right now. They're letting me have it. But if you're watching this in the replay, what do you think? Is this Michelle's attempt at softening her image? Is this just a play for money? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This is Rick Cass. I'm the aforementioned Rick. We actually had a show go up today, despite many. I also for my Catholic brothers and sisters, is the first Monday in Lent. Lent is always a time of spiritual testing and things going, testing you and challenging you. And this Monday has been no different, but that's all right, because we're here and we did it. And you guys are here with me. And I thank each and every one of you for doing so. You guys are fantastic. And once again, couldn't do it without you. Could not, because if you guys weren't here, I would just be talking to myself. And I mean, I am talking to myself, but at least you guys are there. No, this is the green screen. It is the green screen, but I'm on StreamYard, so everything works perfectly. I actually had OBS running on Rumble earlier, but I was having I had it up, I had the sound, but everything was very glitchy, and I don't know, because I actually, and I'll say it one more time, but I had 2 ad reads ready to go on Rumble. You have to do it on Rumble's platform in order to get paid for it, which is why I'm like, I want to use Rumble, because Rumble's like, hey, we'll pay you to do these ad reads. YouTube's not paying me to do ad reads, so I can't do it on there, and it won't count unless I actually do it on the Rumble platform. So it is what it is. I'll get it though. I think I'm going to have to Saturday. I'm just going to launch a stream for like 2 or 3 hours and just figure it out. So you can hang out with me and help me, diagnose it in real time, but there won't be anything there. It is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for that story. Let's move on to our next one. This one's crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This came out of nowhere, literally. So from ladbible.com, athlete explains why she hit opponent over the head with a baton that left them being treated for a skull fracture. Skull fracture, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And I had them both ready, but because, things happened. So apparently today, this came out. I saw this on Whitlock at first, and it was just like, what's happening here? This girl just kind of like runs up and just smokes this other girl because of one thing or another. And you're going to hear all of that in a moment. You're going to hear her explanation. But at first, I want you to actually see what takes place. And I don't know. It's crazy. So let's take a look at the actual video of an attack in progress. Just, hey man, when I did track, I was not very good, but I never did this. There's the girl right here. She's running. She hit her twice. We're going to watch that again because this is absolutely crazy. It's just incredible. So, of course, they caught up to her and they're like, hey, what happened? And this is what she had to say.
The state meet, it happened on Tuesday. The state meet was on Monday and Tuesday. I received the baton. I'm second leg merges, so when I was merging, I was like, okay, I'm doing good. I only see one person. Eventually, after a couple times hitting her my baton, I kept my baton up so I wouldn't hit her again because she was still really close to me. I'm just a person by myself. Nobody's gonna believe me. I'm sorry. So just people, I know what I did. Nobody's gonna make me think that I did something that I didn't do. So when I seen her on the news, I was like, oh, I wouldn't hit nobody on purpose. So I don't care about her feelings.
Yeah, the ceiling bird's not real. That's just somebody like playing games.
Oh, excuse me.
Talk to me.
I don't really pay attention to track and field. I just run and go to practice.
So that's a tough thing, man. She's a young girl. And this is the problem with, when people make these kind of decisions. These are lifelong decisions that impact people's lives. The poor girl didn't. I don't know if she meant to do it. I hope she didn't. But it's an impulse thing. Yeah, well. Aaliyah Everett gave the tearful interview, which you just heard. A high school athlete has been accused at this point, we've all seen it, of smacking her rival in the head during a relay race. Aaliyah Everett has insisted there is more to the baton saga than meets the eye, warning people that they've only seen one angle of a 9-second video. She is at the center of a sport row, after a fellow competitor, Colleen Tucker, was left with a concussion and a possible skull fracture in the wake of the incident, which unfolded at Virginia's Liberty University last Tuesday. Both girls were competing in the 4x200 relay final at the Virginia High School League Class 3 State Indoor Championship, but the competitiveness between them appeared to turn cutthroat when Tucker overtook her opponent, and that's when we saw the smack. Tucker was representing in Brookville High School in the second leg of the race when she was hit in the back of the head. But according to her rival from IC Norcom High School, the powerful strike was not intentional and was a result of her losing her balance while running. Speaking to WAYTV 10, Everett explained, quote, after a couple of times of hitting her with my baton, I got struck back. Got struck behind her back and the baton rolled up her back. I lost my balance. When I pumped my arms again, she got hit. I know my intentions and I would never hit somebody on purpose. Her parents added that they knew 100% that their daughter did not deliberately hit Tucker, who was seen staggering off the track. Everett has been met with a host of backlash in the sporting community on social media. The tearfully eyed teen said, everybody has feelings, so you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking about my mental, right? I think she means her mental state. They're assaulting my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video. Unfortunately, this is the internet. That's the problem. This is one of those examples of what? You hit me first and I hit back. You know, the person that hits back in the fight is always the one that gets in trouble. Go back to your own school playground days, or even now I talk when I do my LTC courses. You know, don't strike back if somebody is trying to get you to fight, because you're going to get in trouble. If somebody's hitting you on the track, I'm sure her coach probably told her this, but when you're dealing, once again, with women in sports, emotional. Now, granted, guys have become more feminized as well, so they are not as cool-headed in situations like this. So I don't want to be like, look at this woman do this stuff, because guys have been, I've seen it even in sports where guys get hit and they respond, and then it's a big old thing. And I once, real quick story time, I was at a JV game when I was coaching high school football, and something happened and we were leaving. And when you coach in Dallas, we don't have home games. We go to stadiums. We go to 2 or 3 stadiums spread throughout the city, and that's where everybody plays. Because, you know, most schools don't have the facilities to have the games there. Like, they'll have freshman football games and like practice stuff, but for official games, you'll go to different stadiums. So we're at one of these stadiums, and I don't know what happened, but one of these idiot coaches I was working with back in the day, he starts mouthing off at one of the parents. And the parent and him are going back and forth and back and forth. And then the parent walks down the stairs and in front of the doorway, in front of the gate where it's open to get out. And this guy was all big and tough until he got real little real quick. And he was hiding behind the Dallas independent school police. So it's not what the point of this is. In the fire of competition, people's emotions get elevated. And we do stupid things. Now, am I excusing her behavior? I am not. I'm trying to be as balanced as possible. What she did was terrible, obviously. But there's a whole group of people that have done stupid things within the context of sports with their emotions being high. I know this isn't what you guys are really looking for. You're looking for me to dog on her and be like, oh, this is what you get with it. I coached inner city sports for 5 years. Okay. And there was a lot of times that things just happen. They happen. And the problem is these kids are men and women, highly emotional, highly hormonal. They're in the throes of some kind of competitive sport. And then they do something stupid. Luckily for the kids that I was coaching, and for, you know, even myself and maybe you, if you're watching live or in the replay, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the internet to document our every single move, or else we all have to explain these kind of things. So, A, I am not excusing her behavior. It's an absolutely terrible thing to do. B, it is 9 seconds of a video that could be a minute long. There could have been something that happened on the other side of the track where that girl was pushing her back and forth. Even if that girl was pushing her, the coach has to step in and be like, you got to keep your cool, because this windup right here does not look good. This windup does not look good at all. So, you know, once again, not trying to at all, but like right here, everything seems, I'm going to get myself out of here. Let's get myself over here. Nope. Richard. Let's get myself over here. So everything looks fine here. Everything looks fine here. They're kind of back and forth. You know, everything up. Let's go back. Let's try to JFK this thing. I mean, she's saying that she lost her balance right about here, one could argue that she's winding up to hit her. One could argue that she's losing her balance as she continues. Oh no, that's a definite strike. That is not her tripping. That is an absolute strike right there, because if you're tripping, you're in more control. But the way that thing looks, I'm sorry, we're down into the left on this sucker. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. That looks intentional. Once again, I am not excusing the fact that is it. I'm just saying people are people. People are people. And she's a young girl. And this girl might have been talking all kinds of smack and all kinds of things. And that's one strike. Let's go. Let's keep moving. All right, let's go back. So we had the first strike. That's the first. All right, so she tripped there. And that's the second. Now, she's not tripping there. She's not tripping there. This is, yeah, I don't know if that's the thing. That's the first one. You could actually say, you could make a deliberate argument. Hey, man, it was an accident. That second one, though, that's intent. That's the same kind of thing that I would talk about when I would be looking over self-defense shootings. If you pull and you present and you take 2 shots and that neutralizes the threat, and then you walk over. There was an episode in a Houston taco bar like 3 years ago where a guy stood up and he took 2 shots at a threat and the threat dropped, and then he walked over and he put another shot in the guy's back. And everybody was like, "Ooh, that third shot's not a good. That's not a good look." The third shot. Now it was ruled a justified shooting, but there's the intent. There's the first reaction, and then there's the follow up, and that follow up does not look good. That follow up does not look good, and this girl got her head cracked, and now she realizes right here, I just messed up. That's really what it is. That's oh, dang, I just messed up kind of thing. And it's sad. I'm sure she's going to get dragged onto the internet, and that's what the internet's for. And it's sad that this is taking place, but that's the price of admission nowadays. It is. And I don't like it. And I'm sure it's going to be easy clickbait for a lot of guys and gals to say how, ghetto and all these other kinds of things. And, it's blah, blah, blah. You can say that if you'd like. You're more than welcome to. But it's a sad thing. I know a lot of people are going to be like, I just don't like it because, as a guy who used to coach athletes, my first coaching job was coaching girls basketball, girls freshman basketball. And then I was an assistant coach for the girls varsity team. So I have experience coaching high school girls. Yes. Newsflash, they get emotional. Now you take women or girls who are going through their growing up, we'll say it that way, their growing up phases, and then you throw in the heat of competition on top of it. Yes, these things happen, and I've seen things happen like that. Now, of course, we didn't have cell phones that live streamed everything before. So even with me explaining all of this, it's probably going to be ruled battery. And it looks bad because unless we have the entire race or the entire lap to see going back and forth to even try to come up with some kind of justification, which is never really good either. It just doesn't look good. So I'm sorry that happened to that girl because she's young, and everybody watching live or in the replay, let me know. I would like you to take this moment while we transition to our next story. I'd like you to count on your hand the amount of times you did something dumb that you're glad that the internet didn't catch. 1, 2, 3, 4. I ran out of fingers, but for me, and it's sad. All right, folks, this is Rick Cass. I'm the aforementioned Rick. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell if you like what we're doing and you like the fact that we work through the technical issues. Last story of the day. Here we go from Bridezilla.com. Let's do some trashy reality TV because that's all the last section of the program is now. It's just trashy reality TV part. So once again, this thing was all over the place. Love is Blind's viewers slam insufferable bride for leaving her groom at the altar over BLM, LGBT, and vaccine stances. Now, apparently this is going to get me copyright or whatever the case may be. Let me see if I have that ready to go. I don't have it ready to go. I thought I did. I should. Let me get this here. It's not a video clip. But to anybody out there that wants to try and nail this show with any kind of copyright infringement, let me just add this. Oh, it is a video. Hold on. I'm retarded. What do you want? And I'm not on my best game tonight, so that is what it is. Let's see here. Is it? Do I have it? No, I don't. I got rid of it. I should have kept it, but I have a. Oh no, it is. It's a PDF. A nice warning to anybody that wants to try and slap this video. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm using this for fair use. So if you want to try and strike me down, I'm going to appeal it under fair use. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this clip that has set the internet ablaze. Let's take a look.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no, don't say anything yet. What am I doing? I don't even know. Get it out of here. Boom. All right. Up. And Bridezilla.
So much.
Oh, look at this guy. This guy looks like he's Ben. What's her name? Ben and Sarah. Oh, Sarah. Sarah's 28, conventionally attractive woman. And then you have Ben.
I love you so much.
Who looks like he's just happy to be in front of a girl. He's an account executive.
But I've always wanted a partner to be on the same wavelength. And so today I can't.
Oh, what? I can't believe this. Look at this guy. This guy is shocked. Oh, that lady's face is the one right there. She's the one who's going to win out of all this. Look at this face. This RBF face. What are you doing, lady?
I'm sorry, but I don't want that to be misunderstood. I still love you. And
now, apparently the show Love is Blind, they live in their little pods and they talk to each other and then they see each other and then they're like, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. Even though nobody loves anybody on these TV shows, they're really only there to be famous, right? How many of these things ever really work out? My wife and I, way back in the day, we used to watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette seasons like 1 through 50 because they have like twice a year. And we love watching these things because they're just like, they're so made up and they're just so trashy to watch. So it is what it is.
Everything about you is
I love everything about you, but you typical. Sorry, I'm going to be a little bit of a misogynist. Typical female stuff. I love everything about you except your belief structure and everything that's important. And Ben's just like, I care about you. And he's like, biatch, what are you doing? Why do they wait until they're in front of the cameras? Because the producer told her to.
I care about you too. And I love you so much. And I know I want to stay with you.
You know what love is? Love is watching your significant other brush her teeth for 15 years. Love is not the exciting, lustful butterfly stage. Love is, hey, I don't know what to eat tonight. And you guys argue over dinner and then you go to sleep together because, you love each other, you go to bed. And then you wake up and you don't even remember the fight. Right? Love is dealing with all the other kind of nonsense. So, but yeah.
And keep growing our relationship if you'll let me.
Dude, don't beg. Don't beg. Never beg. She didn't want to be with you. Be like, see ya, bitch. Sorry.
we'll see. We'll talk about that.
Nah, dude. Here's the thing. If there's any young men watching the program that are in the dating stage, try to give you as least terrible advice as possible. If this was real and you're dating a woman or a lovely female on the side and she starts to give you any of this stuff, if she starts to do any of this stuff, she is already checked out. She's already checked out. In a real world scenario, if she starts, I love you, but as soon as the butt hits, blast out. Especially if it's a situation, something like this, where it's an important date or something, and they just drop this on you out of nowhere. You need to leave immediately. Oh, we were talking about the Ole Miss guy. Remember the Ole Miss guy where his girlfriend slept with the dad? And then he's like, I'm going to stay with you. Don't do that. Leave. Get out. This is not worth it. This is not worth your dignity. And obviously she has not selected you as her mate. It's that simple.
Okay. I love you.
Guys in the chat that are married and anybody that's watching in the comment section down below in the replay, married men, has your wife ever done like, obviously you're gonna be like, my wife, she does crazy things because she's a woman. We deal with them because we love them and that's what makes them special. Has your wife ever dropped something like this on you immediately? No, they drop stuff, but it's never something like, I love you, but everything you believe in is crap and I hate you. What? Where did that come from? No, it's a good lesson though. I know we're kind of having some fun with this, but in a real world scenario, if they drop this on you, you got to bail out because they are not there to work on it. They're not there to be with you. They're not there to actually be invested. An invested woman will tell you, listen, we got to work on this. So I love you so much. This lady's like, I hate everybody right now. I wish I was up there in the dress. Why didn't they pick me instead?
The connection we have is so real. And
except for the fact that I don't love anything about you.
And my heart is there.
No, it's not.
We talked about a lot of the values that I hold so close to my heart. Making this decision, my mind is telling me I can't.
What he needs to do is he needs to just like drop the hands. Like they're holding hands around him. He needs to drop the hands and be like, nope, later. Just leave. Oh, here comes the sappy music. This lady's like, ha ha.
Are you okay?
I don't know what Katie, the mom, is thinking. Are you okay? Clearly nobody is okay in this situation, Kathy. Nobody's good, Kathy. What are you doing? Oh, hold on. Let's get back to Kathy. I love you. I hate you. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go.
Are you okay? Okay. I'm okay. See me in the back. See me in the back. See me in the back.
Like, look at this breakdown right now. This breakdown this lady's happening. This dude should be like, let's pop some beers because I just dodged the biggest bullet imaginable. He's like Neo in the Matrix dodging bullets on this one. That's a great point, Crotchety. That is a great point. This dude needs to be there right now instead of being this timid, like, I'm so sad that you. He's got to be like, where the hell was all this, lady? What do you mean? What do you mean our values don't line up? You're 28 years old and single. Nobody's values line up with you. You are psychotic. That's why you watch me ripping these things. That's really what this is about. But guys, you gotta, if in real world situations, if there are any young men listening, if this happens, you need to, the only person you need to care about, don't care about her feelings because she don't care about yours. You need to protect yourself and you need to be like, you know what? We're good. I don't even care. I don't even care.
Oh my gosh. I'm fine.
She's not.
I'm fine.
She's not. Of course, you could always say this is also the greatest play for attention that this woman's trying to get on podcasts and trying to make a name out of herself. Family Guy actually did this, one of the best examples. Brian went on one of these reality shows and he just, at first he's like, this thing's so stupid. This thing's so scripted. And then he falls head over heels for the girl. And then the show ends and he's like, oh, I'm so happy. Let's go on a date. And she was like, oh, Brian, that's cute. But I'm here to be famous. And then she left.
You guys, really, I'm okay.
All right. This is the thing where she gets absolutely lambasted for.
I feel kind of numb. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're the victim now? You just left the guy at the altar and you're the victim? Got it.
Yeah, like I was really excited about Ben. And I'm like, he's such a great person. I just like.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't get to do that. Sunrise 27. That's a future childless cat lady. You are right. That is correct. Oh, he's such a great person, except for the fact that I hate every single thing about him. What? 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 Oh, I'm such a victim. Kathy's like, I'm never getting grandchildren. Am I?
I just hope I made the right decision.
Spoiler alert, you didn't. You didn't. You didn't. You went for fame and fortune, and now you're going to be a future childless cat lady.
Hi, guys.
Ben, don't cry, Ben. Ben, save them tears. Be a man. In this situation, you cannot cry. Men, listen to me. Listen to Uncle Rick. Listen. In this situation, you need to be stoic. It doesn't matter if you go into a back room where nobody's around and you want to bawl your eyes out. Do that. But in right now, you need to be stoic. You need to be unmovable at this point. Yeah, walk out into the woods, go in a submarine, get on one of Elon Musk's rockets and go to Mars. Do them yet. Save them over spilled beer. Do not cry in front of the camera and do not cry in front of anybody.
Love you.
We
guys
love
too.
you.
It was a lot, but we're rolling with it. I just want to talk to her. Yeah.
No, don't talk to her, Ben. Don't talk to her. She don't want to talk to you. Get away. Go.
Was it like the time frame? I mean, I knew the whole time coming into this, the time frame, like that's not, like I feel like I know him. Like really. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a great, oh, hold on.
Feel kind of
This girl is vaxxed, right? Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. In a shocking clip, Carton can be seen telling Magazine, I love you, blah, 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 blah. She's a vaxxed lady. She's a vaxxed lady. That'll come in.
yeah.
Don't get mad at me. I've lost both my parents. There's major times I've cried as an adult. When my uncle died, because he was the first person I've ever been around like a dead body. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And plus his circumstances were pretty tragic when he died. My mother, obviously, that was tragic. She died of cancer and she was in hospice and that was a very tragic thing. My dad died 6 months later. I didn't cry for him. I didn't cry. I was just, at that point, I'm kind of numb at funerals. Men are allowed to cry for their parents. If you have children, that's even more tragic. I get that. And dogs. That's it. No other thing are you allowed to cry for, men. Those are the rules. I don't make them up.
What? I just hope
Family members are completely in play, Brian. You lose a family member, you can cry. Weeping, no. Crying, yes. These are the rules, men. These are the rules. You cannot weep. You can cry, but you cannot be like weepy. You just can't. I know. Now, if you're going to weep, like we said, get in a submarine, get on a rocket, fly away, get in a car, drive 1,000 miles, go to the Grand Canyon, do that. Don't do it in front of people.
made the right decision.
You didn't.
Oh my goodness.
Love you.
We
guys
love
too.
you.
It was a lot, but we're rolling with it. I just want to talk to her.
Don't talk to her, Ben.
Was it
Don't
like
do
the
it.
time frame? I mean,
Kathy's like, I just want grandkids, you crazy lady. I just want grandkids. Will you just hurry up and push them out?
the whole time coming into this, the time frame, like that's not, like I feel like I know him.
Clearly you don't, because you broke up with him. So clearly you don't know him. Oh, that's Lisa. Rest RBF. We're not on TikTok, so I ain't worried about it.
Like really? Yeah. Like I remember, like I asked him about like Black Lives Matter, and
Black Lives Matter was 5 years ago. Who in God's green, beautiful earth is talking about Black Lives Matter? They just took down Black Lives Matter Plaza today. Nobody's talking about Black Lives Matter. Lady, what time zone and what dimension are you living in? The ladies that started Black Lives Matter are not talking about Black Lives Matter. Why is it such a huge deal? Gentlemen, awful. Affluent, white, female, liberal. That's why they're called awfuls.
I'm no expert, but like when I asked him about it, he was like, I guess I've never really thought too much about it.
Why would he?
Me, especially in our own city. Like, how could it not?
It's been 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To quote Chappelle Show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years. And she's still harping about Black Lives Matter. Blah. Did this ever come up? I've never watched this show and I never will. Did she ever ask him? If you're on a date and the girl asks you about Black Lives Matter, get the check and leave. Get the check and leave. Pay for it, honey. Have as many wine spritzers as you want and have a meal on me. I'm out.
How did it not make you think about something? I asked him to, like, what his church's
Here's the big one, guys. She asked about his church's views
are, and he said he didn't know.
He did, but he was just trying to be like, I don't really know my church's views, because he was like, oh, you're pretty and I would like to marry you and we'll figure it out later. There's been a lot of cases too where conservative men have married women that are kind of liberal when they're single, but there is the trend that women become more conservative when they become married, because they have a husband and they have children and they have skin in the game instead of having the government take care of them. And so the fact that she's like, oh, what is your church's values?
And so then I watched a sermon online.
Well, that doesn't help.
His church. About, sexual identity. Okay. And it was traditional.
What? You mean like one man, one woman? And not all this other stuff? Like, God strike me dead that he is a traditional man, which is why, Ben, you can't be crying right now, man. There's probably thousands of conservative women that are swooning to get a crack at you. That's why you got to stand firm. But it's ridiculous. Yeah, right, Michael? That's why Ben can't be crying. Ben, you need to be a rock right now, buddy. You are in the power position. And I know women are not going to like what I'm going to say. Sarah is peaked. She's 28. This is as they say, the wall is undefeated, whatever you want to say it. She's peaking. That's why the mom's like, what about the timeline, honey? Let's go. Let's get married. You're 28 years old. You ain't getting any younger. Ben's got time.
I told that to Ben. And he doesn't really have much to say about it, I want him to think about that stuff.
Sometimes I did wonder if it was surface, fun, carefree love that we had.
You didn't have love. If anything, you had lust. That's all it is. You didn't have love, you had lust. And that's all this entire environment creates. Lou. I love Lou. TikTok, chickie.
Equality, religion, the vaccine.
Buddy, Ben, you made it, bud. You made it. Right? You did it, buddy. You made it through. You survived. You avoided a nasty divorce and alimony. I'm sorry. Women like this, I don't know, because I risk this stuff being online. I don't care. The fact is, the idea of marrying for love has been such a disaster for the West. It has been. This idea of empowering people to try and line up themselves based on fleeting emotions and values that are supposedly being put out there. There are none of these things. There are none. The values are simple. That's why back in the day, when you were in your town, everybody kind of, you kind of knew the layers, like the attractive people were going to get together, the mids were going to get together, and the lower people were going to get together, and everybody was going to be happy, and they're going to reproduce, and the town was going to continue. But now people are just kind of like bouncing from place to place, basing it on these ever-changing requirements. Well, he's got to be this, he's got to be that, he's got to have this, he's got to have that. And the fact of the matter is, when they put all these expectations on these things, women are never happy in these scenarios. And look at her. She was like, oh, he's such a nice guy, and we had so many things. But then I watched the sermon, and he doesn't like the vaccine. And it's like, what in the hell are you talking about, lady? What are you doing? Bridezilla's, man. But good job, Ben. You made it. You passed. So you crack one open. And I think in about a week or two, he's gonna go, yep. He's gonna go, yeah, that was a good thing that didn't happen. All right, folks. We were able to get a full show. We got 13 people watching on Rumble. My Rumblers, what is up? I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And let me know what you guys think about my statements on. I got a whole thing about like relationships and dating and all these other kinds of things that maybe I'll start like a subscribe star or something. We can talk about that there. But gentlemen, young ones, if there are, and if I look at the statistics, there's not a lot of young kids watching my show, so I'm not really worried about that. Men, you need to have respect for yourselves, and you need to lay your values out, and you need to lay them out immediately. And if they don't like it, that's good. Let them move on. Let them know where you stand. See, Ben's problem is the producers, they probably are trying to set this whole thing up, but he wasn't allowed to set his, he knew his church's values on sexual identity. He knew his stance on the vax. He knew his stance on Black Lives Matter. And if a woman asks you, and it doesn't matter, oh, wow, this woman's she's very attractive. Ain't worth it. If she doesn't have the same value system as you, and I'm going to get even more incredible, if she doesn't have the same religion as you, you're destined for failure. Catholics got to marry Catholics. Protestants got to marry Protestants. Jews got to marry Jews. Muslims got to marry Muslims. That's the only way it works. I hope he got paid well for his humiliation as well, crotchety. And it's really just another example of the demasculization of men, right? The emasculation of men on these things. So, oh, look, the woman, she's so empowered, and the guy's just sitting there. He's just so sad because nah, dude, blast out. Don't even worry about it. All right, folks, that's it for this episode of Rickcast. I still gave you guys over an hour's worth of work because I'm working for you. And I love it. I love hanging out with you guys. I can just talk about this stuff all night. Subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, my little bar rats. Let me know what you liked about the show. Do you agree with what I said? Do you agree? Do you think I'm wrong? I'm not. Do you want me to try Rumble again or just give it up? I don't want to give it up, man, because there's money on the table. I'm trying to be honest with y'all. But I might have to just wait. I'll push it to the weekend, and I'll do a couple live streams on the weekend to get that whole thing figured out over there, so I can eventually use it. No, thank you, G Money, for working with me through all my my technical difficulties and everything. Thank you guys for hanging around. That you guys are really it. You guys are great. You guys are really great. Yeah, Crotchy, we're gonna try it this weekend. The rest of the week we're gonna do StreamYard, so we have flawless shows, beautiful, flawless shows. They're so beautiful. It's great. All right, guys. I pretty much am done for the night. I will talk to you all tomorrow on this beautiful, beautiful platform, StreamYard. God bless. And until that day comes, free Dexter Taylor.